So I'm a little bit of a dumbass. Just a tiny bit, and allow me to explain why. Yesterday I made a video discussing Infinite Warfare zombies, and I was explaining a little bit of a pattern I noticed, and I used that pattern to suggest what the possible overarching goal or the overarching Easter egg of Infinite Warfare zombies may be. The video was fine, the theory was good, however, I made one mistake, and this mistake was too embarrassing to leave the video up, so I deleted it. I framed this video in terms of us soon receiving information. I said, there has to be more information for Infinite Warfare Zombies coming soon. It's January, we have no idea what the first map will be, or we haven't received a trailer, so there's got to be something soon, and I wanted to bring Infinite Warfare Zombies back into the forefront of the discussion. Thus, I made that video. Except there already was information about the next map. In fact, we knew the location, we knew the name, and we already had a trailer, and all of this went over my head, and I was completely unaware of this. Now, how does something like this happen? How do I make such a blunder? Well, you see, the trailer came out December 20th, and leading up to the December 20th, that week was finals week for me. I was wrapping up my first semester of college, and I was also preparing a bunch of videos in advance, so if you can imagine, this is a relatively busy and stressful time for me. And then I finished up on the 18th, went home, and I saw my family for the first time in a few months. And then the next day, on the 19th, I was actually on a plane going to Mexico with my family for a vacation. And during this time, the trailer came out on the 20th, and, well, I was out of the country. I already had a bunch of videos scheduled to upload. I wasn't really on my computer or doing any work or anything like that. And it completely went over my head. I was unaware that the trailer dropped during this time. And then, of course, when we returned from vacation, it was the holidays, and then I was spending time with my family. Like I said, I already had a few videos prepared. I wasn't even really paying attention to what was going on YouTube or in the zombies community. I was spending much needed time with my family, and as a result, it went over my head. Now, I had noticed some YouTubers had Rave in the Redwoods in their thumbnails. However, I never really watch other YouTubers. It's not the type of content I like to watch. I'm not really interested in it, so I don't really watch anybody's videos. I'm sure I saw them in the thumbnails, but my first thought, I think, was, oh, this must be some custom map. I don't know. It didn't even cross my mind that Rave in the Redwood was the next Infinite Warfare Zombies map. And, of course, I made that video yesterday looking like a fool as I sit there saying there has to be a trailer coming soon. There must be one in the next few days. And I took down the video. Although, some of you might have missed the theory, so I thought I would remake the video. This time prefacing how much of a dumbass I am. Regardless, let's move on to the theory. Willard Wyler frames Infinite Warfare Zombies in terms of scenes. Our first scene was Zombies in Spaceland.
The first scene is set in the 1980s. I call it Zombies in Spaceland. Hang on to your seats!
After that, our characters will be sucked from Zombies in Spaceland and moved into Rave in the Redwood. Now, Rave in the Redwood is an interesting place, but it begs the question, why are we here? Why did Willard Wyler take us to the first scene, Zombies in Spaceland, and then take us to the second scene, Rave in the Redwood? And where are we going to go next? It would make sense that with each DLC we would move on to a new scene, which would mean we'd have 5 different scenes in total. What are we doing in these 5 scenes? What are we trying to collect? What's the purpose? And it appears as though we might have an answer with the soul key, because the soul key was what we collected at the end of the Easter egg, except there wasn't much to do with the soul key. There wasn't a place to put it. There wasn't anything to open with it. There was no action that we could perform or anything to craft with it. It was just something that we picked up at the end of the Easter egg and received no explanation for. And now we're stuck here trying to derive our own explanation for the soul key. Data miners have looked in the game's code and they haven't really found any actions for the soul key either. What they have found, though, is that within the game there is allocated memory for 5 total soul keys. And this is interesting. If there's supposed to be 5 total soul keys, and in the first scene we received 1 soul key, then it would make sense that in Rave in the Redwood we would receive an additional soul key. And then in the 3 subsequent scenes, we would receive 3 more soul keys, and by the end of it, we would have 5 soul keys in total, and this would explain why there is 5 allocated spaces for soul keys. Now hang on to that, because it appears as though 5 is a significant number in Infinite Warfare Zombies. If we look at the ritual in the projection room, you'll see a bunch of concentric circles, and within those concentric circles are 5 circles in the shape of a pentagon, a 5-sided shape. So we have these 5 circles, and then we also have the same image in the intro cutscene. This ritual is slightly different. You'll notice the symbols within the circles are different, and the symbols that surround the concentric circles are also different, so they have different messages. We also have the UFO that we battle at the end of Zombies in Spaceland. This UFO has the same exact pattern on the base of it. This image right here is from the soundtrack to Zombies in Spaceland. It's the same one you see in-game, except a more clear image, and you can see it matches up perfectly with the ritual that we see in the projector's room. And this is interesting. It seems as though this image is popping up a lot, and the number 5 is popping up a lot, as if it's a motif throughout Infinite Warfare Zombies. We have the 5 circles in the rituals, we have the 5 circles on the UFO, and now we have 5 soul keys, and we should be getting them across the 5 maps. And what people have also pointed out is that we have 5 playable characters if you include David Hasselhoff, and the point is 5 seems to be a very significant number. And why is this the case? Well, here's my thought right now. If we're going to be receiving 5 different soul keys, what if each circle corresponded to one of the scenes, and you could use these soul keys for a ritual to potentially open up something or potentially create an escape for our characters? What if that's going on? What if we need to collect all 5 soul keys and then use them in a ritual? And that's why we keep seeing this pattern appear everywhere within Zombies in Spaceland. So that's my thoughts right now. I predict that we will be receiving another soul key at the end of Rave in the Redwood. I'm just hoping we also get a little bit of a cutscene at the end of Rave in the Redwood, so we have a little bit more story information to discuss, because right now, while there is some semblances of a story, Infinite Warfare Zombies is definitely lacking, and we need more information so we're not just crawling around in the dark. You'll notice I haven't really spoken much about Infinite Warfare Zombies at all at my channel over the past few months, and it's not because there isn't much of an interest, it's just because there wasn't much to talk about. There weren't any interesting quotes. We had a few messages that we solved, but beyond that, there wasn't much to work with, and hopefully Rave in the Redwood will provide some answers as well as a bit of a direction for where the story might be going. Right now, though, I think the circles are definitely something we want to pay attention to, and the number 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go. Have a wonderful day, and bye.